Yes, you are the villain, but that's okay. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Tidbits with Day, where we break down political and cultural issues affecting women into bite-sized pieces that you hopefully can understand better and take with you throughout the week. Today, I would like to talk about the cost of true solidarity and liberation, intersectional feminism, and the need for us to accept we are the villains in someone's story, and that's okay. Now, don't get scared by the word villain. I know when it comes to our mind, we think Cruella de Vil, Thanos. Shout out to Magneto. He is the best villain to ever walk the earth. Second, the Joker. We won't get into the comic books, but that's not what we're talking about today. Not those kind of villains that are just inflicting harm for funsies, but the kind that's more insidious that we're not really aware of. And when it's brought to our attention, can be shocking and jarring and make us want to retreat back into our little comfort bubbles where no one actually gets anything done. Let me explain. So, feminism, at its most basic definition, is the belief that men and women are both equally human. That one gender is not more human or more important or more deserving or more powerful than the other. It has always been a social movement for political and cultural liberation of women. Now, here's where we get into a little issue. Feminism did not go far enough at its first iteration. It had one big glaring blind spot. The movement early on, spearheaded by white women, left out women with various identities that did not perfectly fit into the white supremacist definition of what a woman was. So, Black women, queer folks, women of color, indigenous women, disabled women, low-income women, just keep on going down the list, were all left out of the movement. We were all left to the wolves to fight our own fight, separately from white women. This was short-sighted on their behalf because they have yet to come to accept that all of our liberation is intrinsically linked together. It cannot be done separately. The brilliant legal and feminist scholar, Kimberly Crenshaw, a Black woman, of course, coined the term intersectional feminism. This is where it gets good. Intersectional feminism was her framework and her brainchild that examined how various aspects of a person's identity, like race, class, gender, and sexual orientation, intersect to create a unique experience of discrimination and privilege simultaneously, depending on the situation. Now, one might ask, Deja, what does this have to do with you calling me a villain, sis? Well, let me explain further. Calm down. Don't get too mad at me yet. This might ruffle some feathers, but stick with me. I want to use myself as an example. I am a Black woman in America. That in itself carries so much weight of oppression that it is suffocating sometimes. Imagine someone sitting on your chest and you being told to continue on with life. As that person is sitting on your chest, suffocating you, but you must continue ahead. So that identity that I obtained, that I have, I was born with, alone carries enough heaviness to last a lifetime, literally. But that's not where my identity stops. That's where it begins. But I have other identities that play a part in how I show up in the world, how I am perceived in the world, and how I will experience certain things. For example, I am a fair-skinned, light-skinned Black woman. I have higher education. I have a master's degree. I come from a 2-parent household, middle class, working family, but still, we did okay for ourselves. There are a lot of things that I will not ever have to experience or go through because of the things I just mentioned. As a light-skinned Black woman, I am seen as more worthy, more valuable, and worthy of more humanity than my darker skinned sisters. That is not to be argued. That is a fact. When I speak, I am the preference. When a dark skinned Black woman speaks, she is ignored. Simply because we have different shades of melanin. I am the villain in a dark skinned woman's story. Not the only villain, but I am the villain. I am part of the problem. If you are receiving privilege, unearned privilege, simply based on your identities, that then participates and perpetuates oppression and harm against another group of people, you are the villain. Now, I didn't decide to be born this skin color. No. That doesn't make me any less responsible for dismantling the systems that allow for that to continue. That is a fact. None of us created the society we're in today. We all inherited it, right? But if we can see the privilege that we possess because of our identities and then don't speak on it and then further act on it so that we all can exhibit liberation, we're the villain. Anytime, I want to reiterate, anytime you are benefiting unearned from someone else's oppression, you are the villain. I feel like we run away from that fact because it's very uncomfortable. It makes you feel terrible. You feel icky. You're like, well, wait, I didn't even do anything. All I did was be born. Correct. None of us did anything. But it's our responsibility to dismantle these things. Because again, one person's liberation means liberation for us all. So if we fought for and advocated for and spoke up for the least of these based on society standards, that would then too benefit us. Not saying that you should just care about people's oppression because you will then in some way, shape, or form benefit from it. But it is a side gig that is helpful. It's like, yeah, we're not just doing this work in vain. So I want you to sit with that for a minute and think, what identities do I possess that although I have the oppressed identity of being a woman in a patriarchal society, what other identities that even though you are a woman, you also may have some privilege? You also may be benefiting from someone else's oppression. Put those down in the comments below. Let's all do this thought exercise together because it's only going to make us better for it. In one breath, you can be the oppressed. In the next, you can be the oppressor. Denying this only furthers harm and slows progress. I don't know if you've looked around lately. We don't have time for that. We need to accept what is to be able to make what could be happen. Okay? Sometimes I feel like too many of us care more about looking like we're the good guys than actually being the good guys. And the first step to actually being a good person is to admitting when you're the villain. No matter how uncomfortable that is, do not gaslight yourself into thinking that you're a good person or you're a bad person. It's honestly irrelevant. Are you a person that cares deeply about the liberation for women and girls. If you say to yourself, yes, then it should be a no-brainer for you. You should be able to say, yes, I am benefiting from someone else's harm. That's messed up. That is the truth, and it's messed up. What is next? Now, if you would like to learn more about this topic and expand your knowledge on intersectionality and not just stop and get pigeonholed in the thoughts process of villainy, that's not what I'm trying to do. There's a beautiful book written by the legend herself, Angela Davis, called Women, Race, and Class. I have it right here. Of course, this is what it looks like. I will link it down below. If you want to go and support your local library, I encourage that. Short but sweet, a little bit, a tidbit, get you to thinking some. I want to thank you all so much for being here with me today. If you could support me by commenting your thoughts below, let me know what villainy you have been up to and how you hope to examine that deeper and bring that to light so that we can then further build community and further fight for the liberation of women and girls. Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Subscribe, please. It's very helpful. I appreciate you all deeply for listening to me, for taking the time to even watch my little YouTube. I really appreciate it. We're going to close out here, but as always, remember, please stay curious, friends. One take. That was good. That was fucking good.